Hey guys, hope you're doing well. This is another episode of Iwing Marketplace Highlight. Today we're meeting Azi Ayafor. He's the founder of Biosculptor Fitness. He's doing an amazing job. So right now we're in Queens, New York, and guys, stay with me. Hey, good to finally meet you, Azi.
Nice to finally meet you, Ivan.
How you doing, man? It's been a while. And you're just in Queens.
I'm just in Queens, but hey, stuff happened. This is the US, so
I
we
know,
all know how that goes.
Let's sit down and talk, man.
Thank you.
Azi, how did you get started?
Well, long story short, I mean, it's a lot more to it, but long story short, I would say I kind of stumbled upon it because it was something that I was already doing without knowing it was something worth being paid to do. Um, I was always active growing up, and then when I came to the U.S., I got involved again with sports. I played soccer, ran track, and during that process, I enjoyed physical activities. And then when I started coaching in 2009, and someone asked me if I ever considered being a personal trainer, and I didn't know what a personal trainer was at the time, but they explained to me that a personal trainer was somebody who was doing what I was already doing, but they make money by getting paid. So I started looking into personal training, and I realized maybe I had been a personal trainer all my life without even knowing it. So I decided to, further my studies, did more research, get a lot more certification, so I could, actually be more knowledgeable about the craft of personal training. So that's, it's a lot deeper than that, but a summary of how I got into it.
That's a nice one, And I was looking at your background. I saw you have a degree in mechanical engineering. Man, that's wonderful. So, are there some skills that you're able to transfer from mechanical engineering to the personal training that you're doing?
I would say yes. Some people might disagree because it, in a sense, doesn't have any correlation between, there's really no correlation between personal training and mechanical engineering and stuff like that. But to me, the value I saw or that I see in it is the fact that I was able to think faster, to be creative on my feet, because going to school as an engineer, you always find yourself in a position where you're forced to think. I mean, we're put in that position multiple times, but college professors where they'll give us an assignment without any detail, and like, yes, a potential problem is the work for today is for you to figure out what the potential problem might be and come up with a solution for it before that problem even happens.
Wow.
So that ability to be able to think faster on the spot and come up with stuff and solve problems a lot faster is what I felt like kind of made it easier, or is transferable to personal training. That way you could think faster, come up with solutions, and still be able to be efficient without, any hiccups or pauses in the middle. So I believe that's something that I could actually say I value the most.
That's a nice one. That's really nice. Yeah, but there are so many people, I mean, including myself, I go to the gym a lot, but I realize I'm still gaining weight, so why,
Like you said, so many people, and that's one of the biggest questions that I get, especially from, I would say, members, not necessarily clients, because there are regular members who think they already know all they need to do, and they think they're already doing what needs to get done, but they don't have the necessary information. So now when they come and they ask you, hey, I've been working out for the past 2 years, but I've been gaining weight. What can I do, or what am I doing wrong? And usually the problem is the focus is in the wrong direction. You focus, you just believe, all I need to do is go to the gym, work out for an hour a day, and everything is gonna be okay. That's not how it works. I mean, if you go to the gym every day for an hour, 1 week has seven days. If you work out for an hour each day, that's 7 hours. But 1 week actually has 168 hours. If you take 7 out of 168, you still have 161 hours outside the gym. What you do within that 161 hours has the most effect on the outcome in the gym, because if you're gaining weight, most of the time weight gain comes from eating food. Sometimes your weight might increase from putting muscle and muscle and stuff like that, but most of the time it comes from eating. If you work out every day and you're gaining weight but you don't eat at the gym, that means the weight is coming from outside the gym. So I'm not saying working out is not important, but look at what you do outside the gym and
Right.
watch, monitor your movement, what you eat, how much you eat, what time you eat, and stuff like that. And you
Right.
realize what I'm doing outside the gym actually negatively affects or kind of wipes out the effort I put in the gym because it doesn't match out. 7 hours in the gym, 161 hours outside the gym. It doesn't match. So it's a lot more to it, but the changes have to be made outside the gym, and
Wow.
mostly how what you eat and how much you
That
eat.
that's wonderful. And I know sometimes, like in our community, I usually take myself like an example. It's only maybe 8 years ago that I knew the value of a personal
Personal
trainer.
trainer.
So why is it important for
Um,
someone to get a personal trainer?
I would say it's really important based on what I just said before because under normal circumstances, you rarely run into people who know what I just said, who understand the concept of training or how training relates to eating and how that relates to you being healthy. So you getting a personal trainer is not necessarily because, well, I just want to get somebody to train me.
Mhm.
Is you knowing that okay, there's something else in this situation that I do not understand, and I need to get a professional who's going to help me figure it out. Because
Right.
the reason why you will look for a solution is because you've gotten to the point where you believe, well, I've done all I could, I've done everything I know, and I'm not really seeing any result.
Mhm.
That's when the personal trainer comes in to understand what your situation is and look for what you're missing to fill in that that empty gap that you're lagging. Because obviously, nobody knows everything else. Even us as personal trainers, we have to constantly get
Educate.
recertified, constant education because there's constantly research done on the human body, fitness, health that you have to constantly update yourself on. So if I, as a personal trainer, I have to constantly recertify and update my knowledge, and then you, as a regular person I mean, you just have basic knowledge
Right.
of health and stuff like
Right.
that, and it's not working. You realize, okay, that I really do need someone who might
Right.
have a clue to,
Right.
help lead me in the right
I
direction.
mean, I have done a lot of consulting with different trainers. I've signed up with many different trainers, and I've got to learn a lot. And I've seen the difference, even though I'm still working on, my
I
eating
mean, it's
habit.
always a work in
Because
progress.
like when you're eating like gari and ero, like dole and yam, all our, delicacies back
Yeah,
home in Cameroon, they're so delicious,
they are.
and you
I
just
miss
want to
them.
keep eating. So, but I'd like to ask you, man, you look very good. Do you eat
Thank you.
that, and do you get fat eating those delicacies from back home?
Um, the big answer, yes, I do eat that. And do I get fat? I would say no, and that's not because I'm different.
Right.
That's not because I'm different. It's just that the approach, the way people look at food is different for each individual. Food is supposed to be fuel for your body and not necessarily escape zone for your stress or whatever it is. So
Right.
now when we see food that we want to eat and we like it, we just eat without controlling the portion.
Right.
So I do eat, I do like it. Every chance I get, I eat those because I mean obviously you don't get it every day, but every chance I get, I will eat it. But the main thing is portion control. Most people just sit like, oh man, I haven't had this in 6 months. I'm just gonna sit right next to the table and just eat until I can't move anymore. And they eat, and then despite the fact that it might be healthy,
Right.
it's just
Right.
excess calories going in.
Right.
That's when you put on weight. And then somebody without the proper knowledge in nutrition is gonna tell you, it's okay. You just getting fat because you eat that thing. It's not just that thing.
Right.
It could be anything else. If you consume surplus of anything, it's not
Right.
going to be good for you. So just like everything else, all these delicacies that we like eating, you can still eat them and still be fit and still be healthy. It's just control the
Portion.
portion. Don't just
Portion
eat as if
control.
you're never ever going to run into it
So
again in
like
your life.
if you're eating curry, the size if it used to be like this, it's better to
Yes,
be
I
like
will.
this.
It is better because at the end of the day, um, when it comes to stats and numbers and value, the regular person is not familiar with. So the human body, in most cases, when you get hungry, your body needs or your body uses up about 400 to 600 calories every time you eat, which means if you could control yourself and only consume between 4 to 600, or maybe 4 to 5 or 4 to 600 calories every time you get hungry, your chances of, you know, getting fat or becoming overweight are slimmer because you portion control. Now, if your body could only consume or only requires about that much, and your regular breakfast or your regular lunch is about 1,500 to 2,000 calories, that means about 1,000 to 1,500 calories are excess just for one meal. So, and the easiest way for your body to store extra calories is in the form of fat. So your body converts that into fat and stores it in your body. And then when you get hungry again, your body doesn't go back to that fat or the stored calories. It goes back to your muscle because the energy that your body needs to function on a daily basis is readily available in your muscles. So you're either going to eat or it goes back to your muscles. So that's why the fat just constantly piles up. So every time you eat extra calories, that's where it comes from. So portion control still ties into that because it doesn't matter how good or how bad it is, if you eat too much of it, it's going to have a negative effect on you.
Right. And what are some of the tips that you give, I mean, your personal clients as far as health is concerned?
As health is concerned, I would say number one would be get active. We undermine, some people undermine the value of physical activity, and some people over, you know, um, they overvalue it because you look at somebody tells you, all right, you have to get active, and their perception of being active is, I have to, go to the gym, I have to go to the park and start running, I have to lift weight, and that's too much. I don't have the time for that. But the truth of the matter is, every type of activity, anything that you do to move your body around, requires energy. And that energy coming from your body comes in the form of calories. So when you move your body, you burn calories. And it doesn't matter how big or how small, how old or how young, there's always something you can do that can be considered activity. Even somebody in a wheelchair, if your legs can't move, your hands can move. And that is also a form of activity. So it doesn't matter how little, you can always start from somewhere and build from this. So being active is one. Two is pay a lot more attention to your nutrition, what you put inside your body. Because at the end of the day, even if you eat something that's healthy, but does not really provide you energy, you want to eat, it doesn't really help you that much. So pay attention to the stuff that you eat, because at the end of the day, you might feel like, okay, I'm just hungry, I'm just gonna eat whatever I want because I'm just hungry. But what do you get? You're gonna feel satisfied from that food, but what do you get from what you just ate? That's nutrient. It's sometimes it's just plain calories. A bucket of a box of cookies. You just eat them. Well, it's sweet. It tastes really good, but you don't really get much out of it because, I mean, what can you possibly get out of cookies besides the fun of just eating? So it's like you have to pay a lot more attention to your nutrition because it goes into your body, and keep it as natural as possible. And another thing would be rest, sleep. We underestimate, we undermine the value of rest or sleep in our body, because as you wake up every morning, you go around your daily activities. um, as a regular human being, there are certain toxins in your body that doesn't get processed or cleansed out of your system until you sleep or until you actually get a good rest. And if you just constantly go around without actually programming that portion time for yourself to actually rest, and those toxins just keep adding up, and over time it becomes something that we can't really control. So the value of activity, nutrition, and rest. And like we talked about, even like on the way, you mentioned something about water. Yes, water. I mean, you cannot stress that enough, because I mean the human body is made of about 60% water. So if the body is made up of about 60% water, that means at least 60% of everything that goes on in your body requires water. And we all know 60% is already 10% above average. If more, imagine, 60% of your body functions on water. Imagine what will happen if your body does not have enough water. And when I say water, it's not just a clear liquid. Let's try to keep it natural water. You could take your seltzer, you want to drink your liquor or whatever it is, but seltzer, sparkling water, not so bad, but let's try to keep it natural. the more natural it is, the better for you. So drinking water helps replenish and it helps rehydrate your system.
And they taught us that in kindergarten, but for some reason we don't take that serious, especially me. But I'm trying to do better now. I drink a lot of water each day. And yeah, can you tell us a little bit about Body
Body
Sculptor
Sculptor
Fitness?
Fitness. Oh,
Real
oh,
quick,
all right.
real
Body
quick,
Sculptor
real quick.
Fitness. As you can see, this is my logo. That's the name. Is Body Sculptor Fitness. I mean, if you Google what the name is, it's pretty much self-explanatory. A sculptor who sculpts bodies. So you would pretty much take who you are and try to sculpt you into the body that you could possibly be or what you would like to be. I mean, it's never a guarantee with a human, but that's the goal. So Body Sculptor Fitness, we don't specialize in one. It's just because, I mean, sometimes when you get into the fitness industry, you realize most of the things that you do are intertwined. So me being a college coach, I coach track, I coach soccer, and then drifting into the personal training industry is like, okay, this is about fitness. And when you realize, okay, you're in the fitness industry, somebody you don't know who you're gonna come across. Somebody might be like, hey, I play football in college and I would like to increase my speed. Hey, I'm a speed coach, I'm a sprint coach, and I could easily coach that. I'm a personal trainer. It's like, hey, I would like to gain weight, I would like to lose weight. What can I do? That's what I come into play. And what I believe is slightly different from in my services that I'm able to bring them to you. You don't have to go to the gym. If you want to go to the gym, that's fine. If you don't like the environment, the setting of a gym, which I've encountered a few people who don't like that. Like, hey, I've gone to the gym, but I'm not comfortable working at the gym. So I will come to you and train you where you are. It could be at the park, at your apartment, or wherever works out for you. So that's what it is. So I'm willing to bring that to fit into
So that's
whatever.
just for people in New York City. What about people out of New York? Can they work with you?
People out of New York, I would say I haven't worked with people out of New York per se who are based out of New York. Some go and come back, but people who are based permanently out of New York, I haven't done that yet. It's something I'm working on because, like they said, necessity is the mother of invention.
Something like
So
that.
it's like, as we grow, we constantly tap into other venues that might improve or help you reach out to more people. Like, until COVID happened, I didn't know what Zoom was.
Right.
But when COVID happened, everybody realized what
Sure, but
Zoom
there are so
was.
many
And there's
classes going
so
on.
many. So it's like because of COVID, whoever came up with Zoom became what, a billionaire. I don't even know who it is, but
Pretty much they're making it big
it,
now.
it, it
But
took over.
you're very knowledgeable in
Thank
as a
you. I appreciate
fitness
that.
trainer. Have you trained other people in our African community to become trainers? And
Honestly, it's something that I never thought about. I mean, you literally just brought that up right now. I never thought about that, and maybe
are you open to that?
I'm very open to that because somebody actually told me before that I underestimate what I have to offer, and I said, you know what, I cannot. I mean, it's difficult for me to see that value in me from another
No,
person's
you got it.
perspective.
From what you've explained, I've learned a lot just listening to
Thank you,
you. So
thank you.
you can reach out
So,
to.
so I would say it's something that I'm very open to. At the end of the day, we're trying to build a community. So if we're trying to encourage our people to eat healthy, we have to encourage people who could also encourage them to get active.
Very
Because I
important.
mean, at the end of the day, one very crucial thing is also our food. The value of our natural food, especially back home. We've been trained or programmed to believe that everything good comes from the Western world.
Right.
Like anything from America is the best thing ever. Not knowing that what we already had back home is natural, it's pure, and the nutrition content is so dense that you can't really compare that to anything else. But the Western world has been able to commercialize or promote itself to the point where we just believe anything from there is the best thing ever. But I would like to go back into our African community and encourage people to go back into eating or get a little more involved into our natural source of food, especially because it's something that if I'm emphasizing for people to be a lot more, careful and focus a lot more on their nutrition, I can't take away from the fact that being it natural is one of the best things that can ever. I mean, because at the end of the day, you can have two exactly the same thing, but one is 100% natural and one you bought
Right.
might look exactly the same, but the nutritional content is different. It's never the same.
Real quick, what advice do you have for, people who want to start up their own business?
I would say, start it. I mean, it's a lot easier said than done, but at the end of the day, most of the time we stop ourselves. Most of the time we restrict ourselves because we already have a preconceived notion or a picture of what we want that vision to look like.
Right.
But until you actually put that into action, you're not going to have a prototype.
Yeah.
You're not going to know what to fix or what to adjust.
Right.
But if you go out there and start doing it, and then you start to recognize what to fix. Because originally, when I got into personal training, my plan was to, hey, I have this big gym of opening your own gym and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if I was just waiting to only open my own gym to start become a personal trainer, I won't be doing what I'm doing right now. So it's like go into it, and then if it works, hey, it doesn't work, you try something else. But at least you knew that you gave it your best, and you know that okay, you could fix something later. Because sometimes you come back to it.
I think starting alone, right, shows you've won.
Yeah, because I mean, most people don't even go past the drawing board.
Man, this has been so fabulous. We can keep going on.
Yeah,
and on,
we could go on forever.
This is Iwing Marketplace Highlight. Subscribe to our Iwing Marketplace YouTube channel. Download the app. Visit the website. To search for products and services. Support our community. Support our community. Thank you all.
Definitely, I cannot agree any more on what he just said. I mean, our community, we still have to build our community by ourselves, because there's certain, we've been programmed to believe we have to go to the biggest, marketing companies and stuff like that, not knowing that the biggest fitness industries too. Chances are these big people are already big and you are just one little person. If they lose you, well, okay, they're gonna get a next one, and you're not gonna get that one-on-one attention like Ivan is doing right now. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a small business owner, or small business or entrepreneur that you coming up, what are the chances that Google is gonna come to you and ask you to do an interview or stuff like that to promote your business? You actually go to them and look, because they don't. So for something like this, I mean, we cannot undermine this. So in our community, because we're not that huge, it's easier to pay that one-on-one attention. That's why I do group fitness training sometimes, but I value personal training a lot more, because the accountability level is very, very micro. You can actually watch their progress a lot more, so it's very, very valuable.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you very much, Ivan.
Thanks for watching. Keep sharing this video, and we're out.
We're out.